or polydioxanone loaded on small gauge needle injectors. Maybe I can just say next slide and you can manipulate it from there, okay? Now, the main objective is to achieve, next slide please. The main objective is to achieve a lifting effect on sagging skin of the face by stimulating skin tissue through the formation of new tissue, fibroblasts and collagen, which produces a tightening effect from inside out. Next slide please. Main indications are the sagging skin and also, of course, for patients who aspire for a smaller face. Next slide, please. Aging usually causes a gravitational pull downwards of the tissues of the face. The tissues of the face, which are usually, please go back to the previous slide, which are previously held in place by different suspensory ligaments, in particular the zygomatic, the submental, the parotid, and the masseteric ligaments. Next slide, please. This slide shows you the difference of the skin of a young patient and then that of a mid-age and that of an elderly patient. The young patient usually has a thicker dermis and a thicker subcutaneous tissue, which decreases as one ages. Can you go up a little, please? If you go to the lower right two slides, if you focus your attention on the slides on the lower portion, which can actually be seen right now, can you go up a little? Is there a possibility of going up? No. Next slide. Anyway, that picture on the bottom, the right two pictures, will show you that in youth, you have a lot of collagen, elastin, and fibroblasts, as well as hyaluronic acid. But as one ages, the collagen, elastin, and the hyaluronic acid decreases. Thus, the result are deepening right sides of the skin. This slide shows you the features of an elderly patient, or the progression of aging, wherein you start developing receding hairline, forehead rhytides, glabellar rhytides, brow ptosis, upper lid dermatocalasis, malar fat descent, deepening of the nasojugal fold. Of course, the smoker's creases if one is smoking, the mid-neck hollowing, and the platysmal bundle. Next slide, please. This is the skin which shows the different layers, the epidermis, the dermis, and the hypodermis. The epidermis consists of the stratum corneum, stratum granulosum, and the stratum spinosum, and together with the stratum basale, which now goes to the dermis, wherein you find most of the hyaluronic acid, the elastin, the collagen, the fibroblasts, which I mentioned earlier, gets lesser as one ages. Dr. Kim is right now, I think, doing the local anesthesia, or are you doing a nerve block, doctor? Oh, he's doing a nerve block. Normally, if you're just using your PDOs, it would be easy to do it on cream anesthesia, but when you're doing the blocks, because you're heating the submuscular muscular aponeurotic system, you will have to put some blocks or some local anesthesia so that the patient won't feel pain. Next slide, please. This slide shows you where we go when we use the PDOs. These are the different layers from the skin to the subcutaneous tissue, down to the muscular aponeurotic area, to the fascia, and then down to the periosteum. And if you notice on the lower drawing or the lower picture, you will see where we put the PDOs. Normally, we focus the PDOs on the upper dermis, mid dermis, and lower dermis, depending on the patient's needs. And in his case, He's doing the cog technique, so he'll be doing it more on the SMAS area. Next slide, please. The effects of cog thread, this histopath were done in 2 different countries. On the left side, you will see the use of the cog thread on rat skin. This has been taken from the plastic surgery department of the Inha University of Korea. Here, it shows you that the moment the cog is introduced, it will form a capsule around the cog, being a foreign material. And at the same time, a lot of fibroblasts will start forming there. On the right side, this is the PDO being done, PDO threads being done on human skin. Still in this slide, you see a lot of eosinophils, histiocytes, and fibroblasts going to the area. Thus, fibrogenesis and collagen synthesis because of stimulation ensues. Next slide. For the kinds of thread, we have used Aptos, we have used Easy Thread, we have used the Contour Lift, Gold Lift, and the Test Lift. All of them are made up of polypropylene. But now, we are using more of the absorbable threads. We started from the plain catgut, the chromic catgut, then the polyglycolic acid, the polylactin, the PGCl, and the PDO, which lasts for 180 to 240 days. The PLLA has not been determined yet as to how long it will last. That's why there's a question mark there. Next slide, please. We have now the kinds of thread. The most common is the monothread. Then this only has one thread. That's why it's called the monofilament thread. Then we go to the twist thread, wherein we have a twist and a twin thread. Twin thread only means 2 twist threads being used together. Okay. You might want to focus. Okay. So he's going to start as I say the things that we need to know about the threads. So, and finally we go to the cog thread, which is the one being used this morning. We have different kinds of cog as well. We have the one direction cog thread, we have the bi-direction cog thread, the zigzag cog thread, and the tri-direction cog thread. We also have the combination thread, which is not so common, but anyway, just for purposes of knowledge, we have the gold-coated PDOs, duplex, and the PDO thread plus PLA comb. Now, what's the mechanism of action? Next slide, please. It stimulates collagenesis, as I've said earlier, because it's a foreign material. Because of the foreign material reaction, it increases blood flow. It also increases metabolism. It promotes tissue adhesion around the foreign material. What Dr. Kim just drew now are the borders where he intends to put the thread and the direction that he wants to put it. We go to the next slide, please. The effects of PDO thread lifting. It increases skin elasticity. It eases fine wrinkles. It defines the V-shaped face. It improves the nasolabial fold, the marionette line, the jawline, the double chin, and the neck wrinkles. And it also whitens and improves the tone of the skin. Next slide, please. This is what he's going to do this morning. In the direct cog lifting mechanism, what it does is it pulls it up, it fixates it, it suspends, and it volumes up the face of the patient. He's right now inserting the cannula on the area where he wants to put the cog. This is safer. You can also do it directly using the needle of the cog, but he told me that it will be much safer this way. So now that the cannula is in place, he will now put in the cog thread inside that cannula. I'm sorry, he did it directly. She says I have 5 minutes, so let me go on. Next slide, please. In advanced PDO thread mechanism, we have collagenesis at the dermis level, scaffold effect of SMAS to the fat tissue and the muscle fascia through fibrogenesis and improved microcirculation. The next slide shows you different areas where you can introduce your cog thread depending on what you want to achieve on the patient. Those red marks are where you can introduce your cog threads. And also the blue marks are the direction where you want to bring the tissues up. Next slide, please. This is similar to the other slide, except that, is this the next slide? I cannot see the lower part. Anyway, we normally can also put in skin boosters to enhance the effect of your cog lift. Skin boosters is being distributed by one of our major sponsors, Restylane. You can use it, and it gives very good effect. Next slide, please. For the benefits and advantages of the V-lift procedure, it's less invasive, very short downtime, no visible scarring. It defines a perfect V shape with smoother contours, and it brightens the skin. Just for the info of the audience, I normally would do the PTO when a patient is 40 years old and below. This is an unusual case because the patient is 59 years old. But at the same time, she's a good case for PTO, for the cog lift because she really has sucking jaws already. Next slide. We now go to the V-lift needles, which are just flashed here for your information. Next slide, please. We have different kinds of V-lift threads. As I've mentioned earlier, we have the mono, the twin, the screw, the double screw, the cog, and the long cog. In this particular case, we are using the long cog. Next slide. The table, this is the table for the needles and threads that are being used. What we have in the market is our needles that ranges from 25 gauge to 29 gauge, with the length of the smallest being 38 to the longest being 90. And then for the threads, we use 5/0 and 6/0. The length ranges from 50 to 130. But I sometimes have threads that only measure 38 mm, depending on the supplier or the manufacturer. Next slide, please. Okay, comparison by thread type. If you just want increased elasticity, you'll be using the mono. For twin screw, you use it for wrinkles, and for cog, you'll use it for lifting up and sagging skin. Number of threads, this is also very important. For the mono, you'll normally be using anywhere between 50 to 150, twin screw 20 to 50, and for the cog, it's 16 to 20. Next slide, please. This is more or less how the patient looks like after the needles have been installed on the patient's face. Next slide. For those who are starting to use the PTO thread lift, pearl of experience is when you're on the lower lids, you do it superficially. You can also pinch your skin upward, the skin upward, so that it can help insert the needle in a smoother fashion. And then for the nasolabial folds, when you go to nasolabial folds, you also introduce it superficially. Next slide. And for the neck, I advise that you use double layer of thread. We can skip the next slide. Please go to the next slide. The technique, because I only have 1 minute. We use cream anesthesia of 9.6% lidocaine. Procedures then performed on sagging skin from the lower to the upper area of the face using the PTO threads while pulling the skin to the direction you want it to go. Needle sizes range from 25, 27, 29 gauge, and for the length is around 30 to 50 to 130 mm. If you use the PDO, you remove it with a twisting motion for monofilament threads, but with cog you don't have to twist because they're already barbed. And finally, for the last slide, next slide please, we use the cryostamp. This machine is based on the cryo-electrophoresis process. It allows a well-balanced tissue penetration. It removes inflammation. It causes analgesia and increases circulation in the local area of the treatment. It's just a fast overview of some before and after. Forgive us for some of the pictures because some of them got squeezed. I also want to thank Dr. Jorge, who's in the audience right now, for sharing with me some of his pictures before and after. Next slide, please. So focus your attention on the jowl area. You do not see something spectacular like after a facelift where the face is fully lifted. But then again, I'm telling you that we are working on patients between 20 to 40 years old. So this V-lip or defined V-lip shape makes them happy already. Next slide. This is the same. Take note of the V-lip shape of the faces of the patient after the procedure. And for the next slide, focus your attention on the right side. This is before, this is a week after, the second picture is a week after. You don't see much changes yet, but look at her after 3 months. Can you go up? Because the after 3 months is very beautiful. No. So anyway, that patient really got rid of her jowls after 3 months on follow-up. This is another before and after patient picture. There is improvement which mid-age patients really appreciate. Look at the V-shaped defined face after. In conclusion, although a relatively new procedure, V-lip or thread lift has gained a lot of popularity primarily because it gives the instant desired result with no visible scarring and minimum downtime. Careful selection and well-informed patients are the key to achieving the best results. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Okay, one side of the face. Yes, we can ask the patient to stand up so you can see. So this is the before of the cut, the before of the cut and the after of the cut. You have to explain to the patients if there's real sagging, which happens around 50 plus years old, it would be best for them to have surgical lips. However, a lot of patients now would always opt to have the minimally invasive, the instant look, the instant improvement, so a lot of them go for this. And you also have to explain to them that it will only last them perhaps a year, at most 1.5 years. Right, Dr. Jorge?
내 움직임 같이 움직여. 블로킹이야, 블로킹 사람들이 다.
Would you like her to turn to the right? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you to Dr. Kim for obliging. He also came from Korea yesterday. He just came from Korea to demonstrate today. Thank you very much, Dr. Thank you very much.